here again, you can see that you have a great landscape from Europe. So we will have different standpoints based on different markets. So maybe just a quick word about your companies, your activities, and if you can share a KPI just to see where you're talking from, that would be interesting. Maybe let's start with you, Robin.
Yeah, hello, my name is Robin. I'm the founder and CEO of Simplesurance. We started Simplesurance in 2012, before the word Fintech or insurtech was really existed. I studied insurance business administration. My whole family comes from the insurance side, so I just grew up only in that area. And we saw, our question was a little bit, how does the insurance industry want to get in touch with the customer in the future? I think we also saw that in the banking industry. So the banking industry shows us how to using an ATM 20 years. And then they shows us 10, 15 years how to using online banking. And my question is, who was the last time in your banking, in your offline banking station? Yeah? And I think this is something what we also could be happened in the insurance industry, to losing that customer touch point. And we started a software solution to integrate in any kind of checkout system from distribution partners, from retailer, from banks, from airlines, to offer directly insurances fully automated in the checkout process. We're operating in 28 countries European-wide, and since end of last year, we started our business in Asia with Japan as the first market.
Yeah, thanks for that introduction. Olivier, a few words about La Parisienne, even if I guess that most people know you in the room.
Yes, good morning. So I'm the CEO of La Parisienne. Well, I can't be the founder because the company was created in 1829, so I'm not that old. But we acquired the shell a few years ago and then changed the business model in 2015. We're a full stack digital insurer, B2B2C platforms, building up white labeled products for all kind of distributors, being traditional brokers, insurtech, retailers. What we're trying to achieve is to speed up the process of the product life cycle, making it transparent. So now, between the time we talk to a distributor and the time we deliver the product for the distributor, it's less than 10 weeks. 100%, so if you want a few KPIs, 100% of our products are delivered through APIs, so that the distributors can integrate our product wherever they want in their customer journey. We have approximately 1 million policies. And now a little bit more than, this is a new KPI that nobody knows. So that's a little bit more than 10%, which is 100,000 policies, are automated in the blockchain. So behind the APIs, and it's growing very, very quick. Since we twisted the business model, the GWP of the company grew from 50 million to 400 million. In 2019. We are present in 15 different countries through freedom of services so that we can build pan-European program. So basically what we're trying to achieve is to address the complexity of the multiple distributors of the insurance space for property and casualty, personal and commercial lines products. So basically products that can be automated. So we do usage-based insurance, parametric insurance. Yeah, that's what we do basically.
Great overview, and we will come back because basically that's the perfect fit with the title of the panel. So from insurance to insurtech. So very looking forward, let's say, to learning more about how you switched from one to another. Cezary, a few words about Bacca in Poland.
Good morning, I'm Cezary. I'm the founder and CEO of Bacca. We are a company that helps insurers and agents and brokers provide their customers with convenient and seamless payments for premium. So we basically work with traditional insurers, with traditional brokers and agents, or the ones who offer sales online as well, in a transition to modern and convenient payments. So we started as a premium finance company, so just spreading the cost of insurance throughout the year through monthly payments. Right now we do installments as a service, so we basically not necessarily finance the premiums, but we help insurers offering in offering monthly payments for the customers. And we do it as well through integrated card payments, where agents and brokers can accept card payments in the physical point of sale, giving the customers a digital experience in payments. So basically, somewhere in the transition from insurance to insurtech, just helping traditional players deal with a demand from customers to do insurance in a modern way.
So that's very interesting, and maybe to come back to the very beginning of that question, so from insurance to insurtech, maybe Olivier, you mentioned that La Parisienne has long been on the market, so why did you think there was a need to switch from a pure insurance player to a more tech player? What's the trend or the threat or opportunity you see that explain you made that switch?
Well, I think that if I had to name one, I mean, it's probably the switch of the economy from property to usage. I mean, we all know that. I mean, we've moved probably slower than what we anticipated from property to usage. Free-floating bicycles, free-floating cars, Airbnb, whatever. And basically our vision was that, I mean, it would be impossible in a medium-term future to keep on buying personal lines insurance product in the same way that you've been doing that for the past like 22, 30 years. But that creates a lot of issues because it means that, I mean, your coverage is ephemeral. There are new gap covers that we had no idea about, so which means we have no data about. So actuarial approach are probably very inefficient. So basically, the reason that we twisted the business model was basically that we could see that the economy was shifting very, very hard. I think it shifted slower than what I anticipated, but I always say that I will try to use that word from Bill Gates that says, you know, when you have like disruption in an industry, you always anticipate that it's going to go faster in the first 2 years, but you always underestimate the changes it's going to make over the next 10 years. So, and I think we're underestimating, and I think the insurers are underestimating the level of agility and speed and test and learn that they're going to need to do within their own organization to address those issues with the distributors. And then, I mean, if you don't go digital everywhere, basically it's impossible to keep the agility and the speed and the expense ratio down. Maybe, I know you like KPI, so I'll give you another one. But when we do usage-based insurance for mobility, I mean, our average premium is 1.87 euros. If your friction costs is too high, I mean, how can you make money on 1.87 euros? It's impossible. So it needs to be automated.
And I think perfect transition with you, Robin. So you mentioned your family background in insurance. So I guess this has something to do with your business or the business that you created. So can you say a bit more about the opportunity that you spotted and that let you create Simplesurance, and then how you manage, let's say, to enable insurers to switch to more technological, let's say, players thanks to your products?
Yeah, so I think, as I explained in the beginning, the biggest question was when we started with Simplesurance was, okay, how does you as an insurance company want to acquire customers in the future? And I think Google AdWords and TV, it's not the only solution. And they have a very, very high customer acquisition cost. And the other thing is that, especially in the P&C sector, the main product to acquire a customer was classic car insurance, yeah? But the young generation don't buy cars. So how does you as an industry want to acquire customer in the future when, first of all, your anchor product will not existing in 10 years or not in that size? And also the other question is how you want to contact them. Yeah? The average age of a customer of a classic German insurance says it's nearly 54 years old. So the question is how you can get in touch with the digital natives. And there's a huge business model existing 20, 30 years already is with insurances at the point of sale. So when you're walking into a media market, Best Buy, whatever, you buy a washing machine and they offer you the credit, they offer you the warranty extension. And we thought, okay, why are we not switching that and make like a copycat? Why we not create a software solution to integrate in any kind of distribution partner, in any kind of online distribution partner? So we're starting this in the e-tail area with classic e-commerce stores. We cooperate with nearly 2,500 distribution partners. After that, we thought, okay, there was also, when I remember I was young, okay, that also in the banking areas, they also offer insurances at the counter. Okay, why are we not integrated in the new challenger banks? So we started with integration, for example, to Revolut, where we are integrated. Yeah, you have in your Revolut, you have the button insurances. It's all Simplesurance behind that. And then last year, okay, we're going also in the travel and airline, and we want to go to the Asian market. So we established in Japan, first customer was ANA, it's the biggest airline. So with all of these kind of things, we know that they are pure online customers behind that, because the customer buys the smartphone online or is an online customer of Revolut or buys his flight online. And so we get in touch with a total new area of customers. And we make this fully as a technical provider and legally under an MGA. So at the end of the day, we're working with classic insurance companies together, and we help the insurance companies more or less to get in touch with the digital natives to using their products. And I think the biggest question is that the insurance industry has to understand that the full value chain, what they existed like 100 years ago, will be not existing. So they need other players to integrate to their customers.
That's very interesting, and thanks for the insight on the product itself. So it's basically on the distribution side of the value chain. Cezary, you are much more, let's say, at the end of the customer journey, meaning at the payment stage. Can you say a bit more about the opportunity you saw, especially on the Polish market, that for those that don't know is quite advanced, especially on the banking industry in terms of using digital tools and engaging with customer in a digital way. So can you say a bit more about that and share some perspective on the market itself? I think it would be helpful.
All right, so basically, as you mentioned, the Polish market, the financial market is quite advanced in terms of banking and payments. We love payments. All our payments in cards are contactless, etc. So we love paying with cards. We do it everywhere, from donuts to flowers, books, and even cars, but except for insurance, right? That's what was in the market. It's partly because of the distribution model that we have. Most of insurance for retail customers right now, and has been sold through agents and brokers. So working with multiple insurers, trying to get the customers the best offer they can have, and the complexity of the processes between agents and insurers made it quite difficult to do a seamless process for payment. So that's where we spotted our chance to get customers with a better experience in paying, and to take the inefficiency out of the market. So just handling payments from customer to agent to the insurer, and then trying to match the payment with the policy. We just speed up we squeeze the process basically. So what we do is we provide insurers with one single payment, which is fully automated and fully matched automatically to the policy, and we don't even touch the money actually. So we take it from the customer card and steer the information through our APIs to the payment system, and then to the insurer. So that basically, if you're a customer, you just pay for insurance like for anything else. We do our work in the background through APIs, and from the insurance company perspective, they just it's like a ticking the box. It's already paid. So once the sales effort is done and the agent does the sales process, it's all closed on spot. So there's no risk that the customer will, go somewhere else shopping for cheaper insurance or for other things. And that's the the reason behind what we do. And as I mentioned, we do as well premium financing, so we even help customers to get better coverage by spreading the cost of insurance on the monthly payment. So our statistics, we've just in terms of KPIs, right? So we've financed like 200,000 policies so far, and it's a recurring business, so we're quite happy with that. And what we see is that our average premiums are 30 to 40% higher than the average premiums in the market. So our customers buy better coverage. They don't go shopping for the cheapest cover, which might not necessarily fit their needs. So we make customers happy, we make agents happy, and we make insurers happy. So there's a clear benefit for everyone. Right?
Yeah, and that's interesting that you mentioned your idea started because every industry was digitized in terms of payment except insurance. I think that this is a comparison we can get here on the market because we often hear insurers saying, okay, digitization is eating any industry but insurance, and it will never happen to us. So I think it was very interesting to hear you saying,
well, it will change definitely. So and what I see personally is that insurers are more and more eager to do changes in how they do. They are enrolling to our platforms. We've got right now 8 insurers that went live on our platform, and 10 more that are being integrated right now. So the wave of change has begun. So it's changing right now quite rapidly, although still something that takes 5 days of integration through our API, really 5 days. It might take as long as 1 year. Yes, just to find a slot in all the IT projects, right? So it's on the one side it's quite fast and changing. On the other side, well, there's still some integration to be done, and it takes time.
Yeah, so things are changing, as you mentioned. Maybe, Olivier, in your journey to switch from insurance, being an insurance player to being a tech insurer, let's say it this way, what was the major challenge that you face? And maybe can you say a bit more about how it impacted the organization in your company?
Sure. Well, like you, my background, is insurance as well. My family was in the insurance industry as well, so I've seen it for like a lot of years now. So basically, no, what we did is that we looked at all the pain points of the major incumbents to address this multiplicity of distributors. And very methodically, we looked at those pain points. It was basically that the product life cycle was very, very long. To create a product within a large insurer is a long process. It's not a very transparent process. Very often it exists like conflict of interest with their own network of distribution. Jacques was talking about the network of agents and tied agents and stuff like this. Very often complicated to address pan-European or global issues when you have a distributor that wants to have a global program, and ending up by the fact that there's so many legacies in the IT systems that once you came up with the product, it's very difficult to push it to the distributor in an efficient way. So basically we took, our transformation journey was addressing all of these pain points. So addressing the speed and the length of the product lifecycle, basically we built an in-house methodology that is based on the agile methodology but applied to business processes to shorten that process with KPI timelines and everything. Then we digitized that methodology. We put it into a CRM, a workflow, and a portal. So if you're a distributor working with us, you will be able to track the decision-making process of us building your product online. So that solves the speed and then transparency. Then in the group at one point we had distribution entities as well. We sold it so that we solve potential conflict of interest. And then we made a great use and efficient use of the 4th European directive with the freedom of services, and we just passported our license across Europe. Now we're licensed in 15 different countries, and we're extending that network of license. Of course, I don't know if the regulator is in the room, but it's supposed to be extremely automatic and easy. It's not. So now we have a public affairs department with people coming from the regulator, talking to the regulator, so that we can accelerate that process. And but that allows us to build pioneer program, and then we have program with people like Deliveroo, Uber, Yamaha, and everything that are across like 7, 8, 9, 10 different countries. And at the end, basically, we said, okay, so once we've done that, I mean, how do we push the product to the distributor? And the easiest way is just to have a like major, easy to use product factory where we design our product, and then automatically we push an API. So we started with a pricing API, and then, like I said, because we're going to new kind of insurance that with like smaller premiums, we had to automate some of the policy admin functions, and we automated that in a private blockchain, which is a fork of Ethereum called Quorum. It's a consortium led by JP Morgan in the US, and so basically now we build a product, we push the API. We're starting with a pricing API, and now we provide a pricing API, an underwriting API, an endorsement API, a termination API, billing API. So we're building the whole stack, and basically the distributor uses whatever he wants. I mean, if he wants to use only pricing, he uses only pricing. If he wants some kind of automation, he can use the rest. So basically the journey was looking at the pain points and trying to find a solution to each of them. And very often you realize that the solution goes through two things. Digitization, of course, but also organization, so of the company by itself.
And that's very interesting what you mentioned, moving step by step, especially what you describe on your API stack. So meaning that you started with one part and then added the API on other part of the business. So perfect link, let's say, with Simplesurance. On your side, obviously, you started creating things from scratch. So can you say a bit more about the challenge you faced, and maybe something around talent acquisition, because I think that this is a major challenge that insurers are facing in terms of technology. So could you say how you manage, you as a startup, and a big startup because you've raised a lot of money, how you manage to address that part, how you manage to attract talent and keep growing the team, and how you focus on moving forward step by step, as I guess this is the way you are doing it.
A lot of questions. Yeah,
Super easy.
super easy, super smooth. I read a book. Some things really a lot about gut feeling. Yeah. When we started this really from the idea, especially in 2012, first of all, there was no interest from we are a pure venture-backed company. But in 2012, there was nobody interesting from the venture side to doing something in the insurances. Everybody was e-commerce, marketplaces, food portals, something like this. And I come, hey, I'm an insurance guy. And I said, yeah, interesting. And also the first cooperation with the insurance companies. Yeah, we said, yeah, we build now an API connection to exchange the data. And they said, what is API? Yeah. Now, nearly 8 years later, every insurance company might be or have similar minimum a CSV file to transfer data, or the first started with API. So really the whole industry changed. And also in the beginning from the talent acquisition, what you said, that's still today a huge challenge. So we are 165 people, plus minus.
How many on the tech side? The product?
Yeah, product tech side, 60-70%. So
you are a tech company. That's what I wanted to highlight.
So
most of people.
So the majority is definitely from the tech side. The minority comes from the insurance side. But it's really interesting. So in the beginning it was more like, okay, to find people to understand the vision and want to build something. And in the beginning we was 10, 15 people, and everybody did everything more or less. So there was one telephone that was the customer care line, that was also sales. So every people was customer care, sales, organization, development, and very funny time. But now also we stepped in really bigger shoes. So Allianz stepped in as minority shareholder. Tokyo Marine stepped in as minority shareholder. We have Rakuten as an e-commerce stepped in. We have Classic Venture Capital, and also so the company really grows. And this shows us also, okay, we really have to find special people directly. So we hire directly from the industry people to help us with the insurance product development, compliance, legal, huge things. When you're working in 28 countries, European right, and every country has, I think you know that, very good. Every country has a different environment, a different compliance setup, etc. So this were things where we really learned a lot and also focused more like on the talent acquisition. But we have 35 different nationalities, so we have more people who not speak German in our company. So we have company language is English because we have to hire really worldwide.
Okay, thanks. And maybe as a conclusion, and that's the perfect link on what are the next challenges for you, either challenges that you see for the insurance as a whole or for your own company. Maybe, Cezary, a few words on that. So what is the major challenge that either Bacca or the insurance industry, maybe in Poland, is facing?
I feel more comfortable talking about our challenges, and insurers are our customers as well, so they have their challenges definitely, and they are more and more aware of them. But we as a company, we are now working on paying payouts to the cards. So not only being on the premium side, so just collecting premiums and help collecting premiums, but also in transferring money from the insurer to the customer in case of premium returns or payouts, quick payouts of claims. So that's what we are working on.
Okay, sorry, because we are running a bit out of time. So jumping to Olivier, the major challenge for this year, either for La Parisienne or for the insurance industry in itself?
Well, I think Jacques in the previous panel mentioned that it's compliance and regulatory issues. Staying agile and staying and keep on speeding up the process, but with the compliance and the regulatory issues is a daily struggle, I would say. And maybe another one, I think the onboarding of all our distributors for the moment is very digital, but it needs to move to self-service. If we compare ourselves to someone like Stripe, if you want to integrate the payment platform from Stripe, basically 90% of your onboarding process is self-service. You do it by yourself. And 10% of the time is talking to Stripe. We would like to move to that on certain products.
Definitely agree on that part, and we are seeing several things interesting on the market, especially in Spain. Robin, a few words about the major challenge for.
Yes, similar like the Stripe example. That's a very good example from our side. So we invested a lot in the tech to have one platform of all countries, all languages, all currencies, everything with distribution partners. And now it's really to bring. A more aggressive sales task force in all of our countries where we are. And this is also, I think, a challenge for us because we don't have the brand like from an insurance company, and we don't have that sales power like an insurance company. And this is why, and this is my last word would be, I think we with Simplesurance and also with a lot of others of my colleagues, we are not fighting against the insurance industry or something. For our 3 years, cooperation is the key for the future.
Okay. So great challenges ahead for the three of you. Thanks a lot for this insight. Please applause both Cezary, Olivier, and Robin.